So I guess we'll start on the sniper install. Probably won't finish it, it's kind of late, but we'll just keep it rolling. This thing does run, not well. I definitely tracked it down to an ignition issue, and also this carburetor's kind of funky. I don't really know where it came from. It's one that I messed with like 15 years ago and probably ruined. But it runs good enough that we will proceed for now. Like I said, in the future, if we put a 455 in it, or an LS or whatever, like the fuel injection stuff, the supporting stuff for the fuel injection, e.g. fuel pump, and, whatever, return line and stuff, all that stuff will work for whatever I do in the future. So I'm not too worried about putting a sniper on an engine that may not run the best. At the very least, I'll know it's not the sniper that's wrong. It's probably the engine. But then we can just pull this 350 out, put a 455 in it, do burnouts, and be happy. Driveway burnouts. Because, I own my driveway. I don't own the street. Might get in trouble. Probably just be a little bit of trouble anyways. It'd probably be worth it. Depending on how big the burnout was. Anyways. We're gonna roll on. Get this carburetor off of here. Try not to drop anything down the intake. I honestly would have been a little bit happier if this car would have came with a quadrajet, or if I had my druthers, I would have preferred it to come with a Holley of some sort, even a vacuum secondary Holley. I think they're better than these Edelbrocks. I've messed around with these Edelbrocks quite a bit, and there's nothing wrong with them. You can bolt them on and they typically work. They're just not my favorite. Wow, that's really throwing some gas out there. Oh, what is that? Get off there. All right. That out of there. Somewhere in here is a bag. There we go. Try not to bolt down the vacuum hoses. I guess it has a couple different bolt patterns, so we don't have to worry about which ones you put it in. I'm going to err to the side of inward for now, because I think you get better clamping when you use the inner studs, more even clamping anyways. Ooh, that's good. Those are tight. Maybe that's why they use the outer ones. Just double nut that. elbow. Where it went. All right, just do that to every single one of them. Kind of needed studs in this anyways. It's not good to run bolts in and out of aluminum all the time. Especially shitty old cast aluminum like this. Newer aluminum is probably slightly better. You know, with all the Chinese pop cans and stuff in it. I really could have just grabbed a small pair of channel locks and grabbed onto this meaty part of the stud here and ran her on in, but you know, I'm trying to do things half correctly. Yeah. Besides, it's late at night. I got lots of time. It's getting cold here in Wyoming, though. I know our Canadian friends up north have already gotten quite a bit of snow. And actually, Utah, just to the slight south of me, got more snow than we did this last storm that rolled through. They got like 2 feet of snow in some of the mountains. People are already skiing. I haven't even thought about getting my skis out yet. Darn it. All right. I mean, I guess step one is like reading the instructions, but I've already done that a few times. So step two for me is going to be setting everything in place. Maybe we'll disconnect some of this stuff. It has a gasket. So yeah, like something like that. Now, how much room do we need back here? Let's see. That's a wideband. There's a couple vacuum lines there. What we have here? That's for the handheld. That's a 10 pin. That's the 7 pin. Yeah, 7 pin, 10 pin. Those can get routed somewhere, probably out of the way of the ignition. And then just a wideband run down there to that. We still got to weld that on to an O2 sensor phone. They send a little clamp-on deal with that, or with this kit. However, I just happen to have a vibrant weld-on O2 sensor bung sitting on the wall over there, so we'll probably just end up using that. Oh, the outer ones are actually way handier as far as accessibility goes. Getting a wrench on them, although it's not too bad. And I have a Ford distributor wrench that actually would work really good for that. 2 more nuts. Put a little snug on it. If nothing else, it looks cool. And I dig the fact that all the vacuum lines are on the back. That cleans up the front of the engine a little bit. That's neat. Definitely gonna need a windshield for this car. Oh, I might have to go a bit of a ratchet. Yeah, there we go. Snug. Snug. Shit's in the way. Snug. Snug. Yep, we're good. All snug. All snugged up. That is going to have to run inside the cab. Probably can go right through that grommet right there, I assume. Could probably pop that out. Oh yeah, pop right out. Although I actually can't see at all where it goes. Maybe it goes to the glove box. Or behind the glove box? Oh yeah, behind the glove box. There it goes. Well, we'll worry about that later. That's actually kind of a son of a bitch. Oh, there we go. That fits pretty nicely, actually. Huh, I might have to just go the other way and make that an engine side connection with the old handheld poking out that way. Whatever, it'll work. Wiring harness. We're definitely going to, oh wait, that's not even a freaking handheld. That's the coolant temp sensor, which would be here. Voila, done. I installed that earlier because needed to plug that hole. So having a coolant temp sensor to plug the hole, this works well. All right, let's see. We're gonna need some wiring. This handy little harness here. It's gonna have to get plugged in. Let's see. Goes to a 7-pin. And then how do we want to route this? I think what we want to do is probably snip that, because I think we want to route most of this stuff that way. I think most of it. This is going to jump off down there, go back to the fuel pump. Let's see. I need to bust that off real quick. especially because we know that that's not quite going to work. I might have to make a little adapter for that. Probably just out of a piece of small metal or something, thin metal. This wonderful kick-down cable conglomeration of stuff there somebody put together. Hopefully get some new light bulbs in the shop quickly. So all this footage is probably going to be garbage because it's so dark. But I don't have any other lights. So all the lights are on the sides and not in the middle over the car. So just have to wait for lights. I'm also concerned that they might mess with the camera being like LEDs. Fluorescence, I know. These ones will definitely fuck with that camera. Or my phone, one of them. I was videoing something in here one day and it just turned out bad. It was like all flickery, garbagey. There we go, that's a little better. I've got a little more room here with that one. And these two can hang out over here somewhere. Oh, maybe they can just go right down there. That's like just the back of the motor. Nothing can even go down there. Nothing can get there. I don't know what I'm talking about. I should probably go to bed. Kind of having fun though. Let's just move this over slightly. Yeah, that's not bad. So yeah, just getting some crap out of the way. I'm gonna try to run this semi clean. This is gonna have to go probably down that other side there. I'm gonna have to go the other way with that one. Snip off these zip ties. Actually, I might stretch this out and maybe just let it try to stay in a straight position for a day. It'll get a little floppy. It's also kind of cold in here, so I've got my wood stove cranked up, but you know, wood stoves can only do so much. Let's see. I could get all of this ran probably over the master cylinder, under the master cylinder. What's going to be the best option here? I'm thinking right over the master cylinder. Maybe we just zip tie it to that wire. Should have enough wire to go back to that. Just hang that right there for now. I wonder what that green and purple one is. That's for something else. Let's see. And then we could mount these relays. This relay and this fuse. And if we wanted to really make it clean, we could get everything back in the frickin' fender well there. That's what we should probably do. Hide all this crap. Whew. I think maybe a coat hanger. You might be wondering why I so quickly just have a coat hanger ready. Jokes. It's because my Bronco locks me out all the time, and I have to use it to break in. You thought it was going to be dirty. Yeah, that's how Holley intended it to be ran, I'm sure. And then when I pull this fender off, it'll just be super exposed hanging out. So that'll be great. These, I want these kind of accessible, so I probably will mount them on the firewall. Frickin' screw there and a screw there. That'll be good. Fuel pump wire will go down along the frame rail. That's that. There's connectors right here. I think Holley says not to use crimp connectors also. Sorry. I'm gonna do it. Mostly just because they're right there. They're just already there. I bet that's what that's for. I reckon. You know where I'd really like to go? I really wouldn't mind going to Australia. I'm sure my wife would go. Absolutely sure of it. But I would have to figure out some way to make her realize that we were just going for a vacation and I wasn't trying to go look at hot rods and stuff the entire time while we were on vacation. Those guys have some cool cars. Cool vehicles in general. Oh, nice. I really like the Holden Utes that they have down there. Those things are freaking sweet. Put some ghetto ass electrical tape. I need to get some hockey tape. It's a good Tessa tape, wiring harness tape. Everybody uses it for their hockey sticks. Snowmobile handlebars. Makes an instant handlebar grip. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and leave this long because I'm not sure how good of a job I'm actually, well, I know I'm going to do a decent job, but I haven't done a good job yet. Let's put it that way. So I'm going to leave it a little bit long. Wow, I wonder how you're supposed to cut this stuff. Not with a kitchen knife. Probably with like a hot razor blade is my guess. Oh man, I just mangled the shit out of that. Whatever, I'll just fold it all back and electrical tape it. Alright. I'm a hack. Call me a hack. I don't care. Man, I fucked this. I ruined this. I ruined this. I really got after it though. And this one's slightly larger. I wonder how many amps this pulls. Because my alternator, whew, aside from not even being hooked up, it is probably pretty small. I'm guessing in the 60 amp range. I don't know. I haven't messed with the GM product in quite some time. We should do this one first, huh? I was actually looking at alternators for this not too long ago, just a couple days ago. Looking for like just a one-wire solution. I think that's just so simple, and why not just make your life easier instead of wiring 2 more wires. I guess one of them just goes to the freaking battery cable anyways, but we got a little spark there. That must mean we have power, I guess. Cool. Oh, there's one that's supposed to go to a keyed power. Maybe, is that red one supposed to go to keyed power? Freaking battery. That's why they put them together. Battery, power, ground wires. Pink wire, switch 12-volt ignition. Yellow wire, coil input. Shit, we're actually almost done. I do need to find a good power source and get a switch 12-volt power source. I also probably need to charge the battery. Yeah, I don't have a clue where a good switched 12-volt supply is. Probably somewhere through that big gaping hole in the firewall, would be my guess. But that's about it for tonight. I think I'm done. I'm gonna go to sleep, and we'll continue on this in the near future. We'll get all the little bits knocked out. All right. See you soon. So we're back on the Sniper. I did go ahead and get a bunch of the wiring done. I got the pink wire ran in through the firewall through a grommet to a keyed 12-volt source. I got the yellow wire ran over to the coil negative. I remounted the coil in a little better position. I've got the header off right now, and got an O2 sensor bung welded into place. I got the header sitting over here in the vise. So we got a bung welded in here. Shot a little paint on the header. Problem that I just found out. You Pontiac guys can tell me about what these heads are. I have done a little reading, and I found out, I don't know if you can see very good, there is a hole here and no hole here. Like, the head is not drilled for the frontmost bolt and the rearmost bolt, which is kind of dumb, and it's going to make for a problem when trying to run an O2 sensor, because I guarantee it'll leak with only one bolt holding both of those on. So I guess I could do a couple of things here. I could just pull this entire engine out, go get that 455 and put it in here, assuming that it may have all the bolt holes in the head. It's from like a 72 Trans Am or Firebird or something. I have no idea what engine it is from. But so these heads, I mean, this says they're number 16 heads. There's a 12 stamped in the front here, and then the date code is like F250 on this one, which would be, I think that's the only. So that'd be like June 25th of 70. But then I think this one is different. I don't know. I can't even tell what that says. That might be something from 69. This one says 16, and then there's an 8 on the back port, and it just says GM right there on that one. Anyways, kind of a little setback with the project, but I think I'm going to go ahead and move forward. I might just silicone the shit out of the very front edge and back edge of these headers. I just want it to run with the sniper on it. It will most likely get pulled out. This 350 will probably go down the road, and the 455 will probably go in its place, like in the next month. But I wanted to give this 350 a chance to just run. I actually kind of want it to run good enough that maybe you can take it out in the driveway and do a burnout. We'll see. But as it sits, get the header put back in. I got some fittings for the fuel system, so I need to run the fuel system. I'm going to use the factory hard line that goes through the frame right in here, and go back to the tank. We're not going to use this, but we are going to use a cheap-ass fuel pump and some various other fittings. So we're just going to stick that on the frame rail. And then I got a bunch of 5/16 EFI hose, which I don't think you need EFI hose for a return because there's not really any pressure. But we'll have to drop the fuel tank and plumb in a return also. So I'm going to go ahead and get working on that stuff. So I went to the local parts store looking for a fuel pump block off plate for like a small block, big block Chevy, whatever. They're all the same. They didn't have any. They usually have them in stock, but you know, small town stuff. So what I did was cut out a piece of this 1/4-inch plate that I have. Whoa! What I did was cut out a piece of this 1/4-inch plate that I have into the fuel pump block off plate. I just used the old gasket as kind of a pattern to draw with the marker on there. I'm going to round off these edges. Got the holes drilled, you know, mostly correct. So yeah, I'll just round off all those edges, make it look like an actual fuel pump block off plate. Stick it back on there on the car, and we'll be good to go. And there we have one very semi-amateur looking fuel pump block off plate. Saved a couple of bucks, and pretty sure it's going to work. We'll stick it on there. So we got the sniper pretty much all installed. Had to run some fuel lines. We just used the stock hard line. It was already flared there, so ran that up, clamped it, used some good EFI hose clamps, and then for the return, just used a 5/16 hose, ran that down behind the engine over to the other side, and then just tucked it right back here, and it runs along the frame rail on the bottom of the car here, right in here. Just kind of zip tied it to the rest of the lines. We need to drop the tank because right now I just have the return line going back into the tank. So I started dropping the tank last night, and the captured nuts broke off their little hangers, so I got to cut the bolts off, pull the straps down, pull the tank down, and then figure out a permanent solution for mounting the return line. But other than that, I mean, it starts and runs. So here's a first startup for all you tubers. So I had a little issue with the distributor also. The springs in the mechanical advance were like really loose, really floppy. So you would actually get some mechanical advance, like maybe 8 to 10 degrees of mechanical advance at like right off idle, and it wouldn't return. It would just stay up there and idle high, and it was just bad all the way around. So I put a little stiffer spring in it, and that seems to have cured that issue. I also peeled all the alternator wiring back and jimmied that back together. And I'm waiting on an actual plug for the back of the alternator here, but the alternator is charging. I don't think it ever had before. All the wires were not going to the correct places up to the voltage regulator, so I just kind of temporary quick hooked that stuff up and used a piece of trailer wiring just to plug it in. That'll all get fixed correctly in the long run, but we're charging at like 14.2 volts, so 14.4 ish, so that's all good. Yeah, on to finalizing the install with figuring out how to put return line in this tank. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. I know I have in the past welded on gas tanks that have had gas in them. And how you do that is hook your exhaust pipe of a running vehicle onto the tank and let it purge. That inert exhaust gas will purge out all of the fumes. You're just trying to take the oxygen content out of the tank, so it won't combust. So I may try that and weld in a like a pipe plug to put. Where'd that fitting go? Anyways, yeah, to put a fitting like this, just a pipe fitting in, weld a bung that's this size into the tank, and then connect your return line here. I think that would work. I don't know. You guys with these 68, 72 A bodies can tell me how you've done it in the past. I mean, I could just spend $400 and get one of the Holley muscle car sending units with the pump and everything in the tank. And those are internally regulated too, so it just bypasses in the tank, and then you use one line and cap off the regulator port on the Holley, which I think is a good option. It keeps the fuel cool in the tank instead of sending it all the way up to the throttle body. This is, it's not cold, it's warm, so it's heating up the fuel a little bit. But I gotta get rid of this stupid air cleaner too. It needs a full-size normal air cleaner, but I don't know. I think I'll probably just figure out how to put a return line in this factory tank myself. What I also thought about doing is, with this fitting, is taking a piece of tubing in this inner diameter and soldering that in. So once it does go into the tank, it goes down into the fuel, so it doesn't aerate the fuel, even though I don't know how big of a problem that is with such a low horsepower application as this. This engine will probably go away. We'll probably put a 455 in it. I think I've already covered the lack of bolt holes in the factory castings in the cylinder heads here. There is no drilled or tapped bolt hole to put this front or rear bolt in the header. To fix that, I mean, I have a drill press. I can pull the heads and drill and tap the holes in the head. However, I don't know that these are the best heads. I think they're probably fine for a 350, a small bore engine. I think they're a small valve, big chamber, press-in stud. I mean, I think they're number 16 castings. Again, you Pontiac guys, drop in the comments what you think, but I think a 455 would sit very nicely in place of this 350, and we get the benefit of Turbo 400 behind it also. So yeah, making headway little by little. All right, so we got the Pontiac out of the garage. EFI is installed. The Sniper, it's pretty cold here today. It's only like maybe 25 degrees. So maybe it'll start, maybe it won't. We'll see here real quick. Whoa, it's cold. Yeah, I don't know that it's actually going to start. Anyways, it's out of the garage. It's sitting in the snowbank next to my house. All right, so the last time we had the Pontiac outside, it was pretty uneventful. It did not do a burnout. I attempted it once and just kind of shut her down, pulled her back in the garage. This wheel needs some work. I think it needs some more brake work. The back brakes probably need some more work. Yeah, so it's back in the garage. We're gonna continue just kind of tinkering on it, getting some other stuff straightened out with it. This project is going to be on the back burner for a minute because it needs to go to the machine shop. So we'll probably just do pistons on stock rods, stock crank, stock 351 basically, just with some forged pistons to handle some boost. So while this is at the machine shop, this is not doing burnouts. We'll get the brakes sorted out, and we'll get some of the body work started. It's kind of hard to see because of where the sun's at today, but we're going to start working on this quarter panel, see if we can pull some of that out. I think we can. I think we might be successful in saving this quarter panel and not having to reskin it. So that's what we're going to try. That's what we're going to be doing for the next couple of weeks while we wait for machine shop services and stuff like that. I haven't even called the machine shop. They're 3 hours away from me, and I have no idea what the lead time is on just getting a bore hone with the deck plate. I think that's pretty much all I'm going to have them do. Maybe cam bearings if they put it in the hot tank, because they'll fall out anyways. So while we wait for the engine for the Bronco, we are going to keep working on the Pontiac. I'm starting to really like the shape of this car, but we've got a lot of work ahead of us. So stay tuned, like, subscribe, do all that stuff, and we'll keep working.